Welcome to episode 15 of the Sports Therapy Podcast. We got a good one for you this week as we discuss a variety of topics that all manage to center around sports, of course. The topics include a hilarious story about my dad cheating in Madden back in the day, KTO's thoughts on the college football playoff, then we get into whether or not the college football video game will ever come back, and we each give our unique take on what we felt was the perfect environment to watch a football game before the whole pandemic situation. Also, we got a treat because this was recorded on Monday morning before the Bengals' historic upset of the Steelers. To close out the episode, I go on a hilariously wrong yet impassionate rant about how the Bengals have absolutely no chance and refusing to get my hopes up. Of course, as it usually goes when it comes to the Bengals, I was wrong yet again. But honestly, who the hell cares? What am I, a psychic? We got the dub and it felt great. Hashtag who that? But honestly, who the hell cares? What am I, a psychic? We got the dub and it felt great. Hashtag who that? Me and KTO want to send a huge thank you to everybody that's been rocking with us up to this point. We're 15 episodes in and we're coming to the end of the year, and we definitely want to go out while engaging with y'all. So we're gonna be doing a end of year Q&A. Leave any questions you have in the comment section, and remember we're leaning towards an end of the year theme, so we'll probably be gravitating to questions that fit that theme. Other than that, that's enough for the intro. It's time to jump in. Good money.
Sweet. Holiday times, man. Are you a Christmas guy?
No, I'm not a holiday guy at all. I mean, I really can't answer that. I just don't really care that much. But it's like, you become this stuff because other people that you care about are holiday people. At least I got a son now, so, you got that. But, we buying a house this year, so no gifts. Like the last couple years, I really been on it. I really been getting everybody gifts and stuff like that. But this year, bro, people will understand. Like this year, we not buying gifts. We just trying to make sure we right. You know what I'm saying? We good this year. So I'm waiting on gifts from other people. Like it's time for other people to hook me up this year. Like hold me down. If any of my family watching this video, bro, I need it. Whatever it is. If that sound bar you saw, yep, we need it. That like whatever the TV you seen on sale, I need it. Like give me everything. You know what I'm saying?
Are you like a gift guy where the gifts you want you don't know, or do you like to ask for specific things and get like what you ask for?
I'm very, very specific to the point where I probably won't even ask you for nothing because like I probably already got it. You feel me? Like I'm not gonna wait to Christmas 9 times out of 10 to get something that I actually want. So usually with gifts, bro, it's just a bonus. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I get a cool, like my sister, my mom, somebody give me a dope jacket or something that I could wear, and so that'd be straight.
Yeah. The best worst part about Christmas and getting older for me is as a kid, you can't buy whatever you want. So the thing you want, you're like, maybe it's like the game that year that came out. It's like, I can't get it. I don't have enough money. So it's like, I'm just hoping that I wake up on Christmas morning getting that new Call of Duty or the 2K that year that I didn't get at launch. Yeah. Because I was never I wasn't like a launch title kid unless it was NCAA. Every other game was kind of like I eventually got it down the road. The Christmas noob.
Can you remember your top 3 most wanted gifts growing up that you actually got?
That's tough. That's tough because every year you think that what you are asking for, you want the most, Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's tough. The only thing on the top of my head isn't even a Christmas gift. It was the first thing I bought for myself that I wanted so badly. It was a PSP. And, it's at that time when I'm starting to work for the first time. I'm like 13-ish, 7th grade. And my dad's kind of trying to give me the lesson. It's like, hey, you don't want to just spend something on you don't want to get something that won't matter to you eventually. Mm-hmm. And I was riding the bus every day where I was the first stop. So it was like 45 minutes every day.
Yeah.
And it sucked because the bus is cold when it's the first stop.
Yeah.
And all I could think about was all these kids had their PSPs. And I was so pissed because I wasn't one of those kids. So I saved up like $200. I ended up getting the PSP, and I got a couple of good games like Midnight Club 3. I ended up getting GTA Vice City, and then I played NCAA football. And if you ever played NCAA football on PSP, it's trash. It's the worst game. Oh, it's terrible, dude. Unplayably bad. Like it's just stupid. And
man.
But yeah, the PSP saved me for like 2 years of riding the bus. So that was sweet. What about you, man, for the Christmas gifts?
Actually, super similar. The ones I can remember, and I say they're the top three because they're the only ones I really remember. I got a Game Boy Color one year, and I really wanted that because I had a standard Game Boy, big fat. All I had on it was Tetris. I got a Game Boy Color with Pokemon Yellow. And because I had played Pokemon Red and Blue, but it was my cousin's system. It was my cousin Game Boy on the Game Boy Pocket. So I got that Game Boy Color. That was one of the biggest ones. I was all in church. Like, you know what I'm saying? We went out to like my family's house for the holidays and stuff. I used to be pretty bored because everybody just, a lot of grown people telling jokes and stuff that I don't get. So now I could play my little game. So it was that. Damn, I said top three. That's really the only one I remember. Oh, we got a basketball goal one year. And man, I wanted a 4-wheeler, but I never got the 4-wheeler.
Oh, that's a big gift, you know? Like,
yeah, it is.
How many siblings did you have?
2. And my mom, she started just giving us we have like a $100 or $200 Christmas budget
limit. Yeah. That's kind of how it was for us too. So always every year was that $60 game. So my Christmas days, I think back and it's like that rush of nostalgia is the smell of the wrapping paper while I'm sitting on the couch playing that game I got that year. I can smell like the wrapping paper from all the presents being opened. I'm wearing like the yearly bottoms that I got that year, like the I'm blanking on it. It's just like you go to sleep in them.
Pajama bottoms?
Yeah, pajamas. Jeez, pajamas. Yeah, we'd get pajamas every year on Christmas Eve. yeah, very tough. But sitting in pajamas playing 2K that year or whatever game, that was it. That was the Christmas day.
Your dad's not a gamer, huh?
You know, he's gonna listen to this. He'll probably text me, but he was all about we'd play like a few games every now and then. But I started being able to beat him pretty consistently because I knew all the cheese plays in Madden or something, and he'd just be like, "This game sucks." And then he was always working, and I was always playing, so it's like that gap kept getting bigger,
kept growing.
And by the time I was like 12, 13, he stopped playing, and then it was just me and my brother playing, and he didn't play with us at that point.
See, I didn't realize how lucky I was, but I'm really just thinking about it now. But my dad is an actual gamer to the point where that $60 game, that's not my gift. That's his gift. You feel me? So now I can play because he's gonna get Madden, and it was NBA Live at first, and then at some point it switched to 2K once Live fell off.
Yeah.
But he's gonna get those every year. So all I got to do is go get like the little goofy adventure game. Let me get Crash Bandicoot, you feel me? Let me get that, and then I can mix them all in. But, bro, my dad, this dude, I wonder do he remember this? I don't know if he's going to watch this. He might. Dad, if you're watching this, tell me if you remember this. You cheated me so hard one time, bro. I was playing him. I probably had the Bengals, but I can't remember. He had the Cowboys. And he was playing like in his season. And he was like, yeah, you can play. Bruh, I played the game. This man is killing me. And normally we was pretty evenly matched. Like, I was never great at it. We was about evenly matched. And I couldn't do nothing. My dad was a police officer. So he got called to work. He had to leave like in the middle of the game. Left it paused. I go look at this man's roster. Every single player on the team is 99. Everything, bro. His center was a 99 speed, dog. I was like, this man really just, like, he cheated me so hard, bro. And, you know, he clearly ran through me, but that's when I learned it's like, you know, at this point, it's win at all costs.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it takes, we got to get this dub, bro.
Dude, that's the stuff I do to my brother. That's so funny because I'm thinking about my dad. And my dad would have never known how to do that stuff. Like he was like okay, we'll jump on the play now, pick the default teams, play one game every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably because he grew up on like Tecmo Bowl and those kind of games where it's like you just play. You don't do anything special. And then games evolved so fast when he wasn't playing that it's like the level of complexity to games. All of a sudden you can do franchise mode. You can pick and trade players. You can like change their overall, like the ideas of that. It's like, I understood that when I was young, but he just understands you just play. So I never had to worry about that.
He used to buy the strategy guys, bro.
Oh, man, that's
so what'll happen?
That's awesome.
Like I'll go in his closet and stuff. Like, damn, I'm snitching on myself now. I go in his closet because he used to have all the fly jerseys. Like he have like every Cowboys jersey you could imagine. So, you know, if I'm going to a game or something that night, I'm gonna go grab me a jersey real quick. You know, we used to wear big clothes back then anyway. So I throw on a Cowboys jersey, and I found the strategy guide, and I was like, yo, this man was pulling out all the stops. Like, he wasn't playing around. He had the strategy guide. He had the souped up team. He be practicing. He be in practice mode all the time just to beat me and, like, probably his brother and, like, his group of 4 or 5 friends that play the game. Like, he was going all in, bro. And you know, I guess I can learn a lot from that, man. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to take.
Dude, that's so cool to hear because, you know, the idea of gaming, at least where I come from, it's like all the old men don't, like, they would never play video games. Like, the idea that every dad I knew was like, don't waste your time on that shit. Like, it's just like, get outside kind of thing. Yeah. So to hear that, like, I know your dad's probably older. He's not like young.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nah. My dad is 50s.
It shows that old dudes will play too. And that's cool. Dad, I love that.
He was a diehard. He was like a franchise player, like through and through. Yeah. But you know, he a diehard football. He played football. Diehard Cowboys fan. So yeah, he really only got into Madden like that deep. But yeah, he was in there. He was in there strong.
Yeah, that's sweet. You said like he had all the jerseys. It was so funny because I grew up a big jersey kid. Like in every school photo of me, like when it's like the class photo, you see me in like my Jamal Lewis jersey or my Jerome Bettis jersey. Yeah. But my dad, funny enough, was not a Browns fan. He was a Broncos fan, but he had a Tim Couch jersey. He said he like bought it at a thrift shop for like $5 or something. He's like, oh, football jersey, sure, I'll get it. So he always wore a Browns Tim Couch jersey for no reason. That and an Eddie George jersey.
My dad had an Eddie George jersey too. My dad's a Cowboys fan, but that Steve McNair connection, you know what I'm saying? Steve McNair was the Alcorn. We live right there. So we was also like Titans fans on the side. We all was when Steve McNair was there. So yeah, we had the Eddie George jersey. We had the McNair jersey. Dyson, Eric Dyson. Yeah, it was a few of them, bro. A few of them.
Yeah, it's interesting just because I grew up in a place where there was no pro sports teams. So everyone I knew cheered for random teams. It was like weird. It's like, it was whoever was hot. So college football, it was like, oh, I'm a USC fan. Like so many people were USC fan because obviously they were big at the time. Yeah. And then pro sports, it was Seahawks, Broncos usually. But then it was really random. Like kids, you show up to school on like pro sports day or whatever, or like team day. And it's just such a mixed bag. There's not like a lot of like similar
Is it
teams.
Not like that? Like in places, like if I was in New England, like it's because that seems so normal to me because I'm from a place with no pro team also. But like I guess when you go to these places where there's like a really good team that's kind of a staple of the city, when you go to school, when you go to these places, everybody wearing the same jersey, that's got to be hella weird, bro. Yeah. Because like the variety where I'm from is crazy. It's like you'll see all kind of jerseys and the shoes to match. You feel me? So
yeah, the one thing I can say is since I grew up in a diehard college town for Boise State, it was like ride or die Boise State. They're actually one of the biggest brands like locally, like in their region, even though they're a smaller school, just because it's like that's all there is. It's Boise State football or die. And so there's a lot of blue and orange going around in those parts. You know what I mean? So I can understand it because I can see like if you grew up in like in a city where like that team was good, like New England, then it makes sense. But I guess people comment down below if you grew up in like a diehard pro sports town, if it's like at all diverse. Like there's probably kids that are fans of other teams just because they don't like be part of the crowd, you know? Yeah. But it's definitely different than when you grow up in like a non pro sports town like we did.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But dude, did you actually I don't want to get into the talk yet because I was thinking about the game tonight because it's like a weird game. The Steelers, I know you're probably not even going to watch, but
it'll be on.
Yeah.
Well, actually I might not watch. I don't know yet. It depends what my wife is doing.
Have you been watching college football at all?
Not a single game.
Were you ever no, you never said that you were a big college football fan, right? Like
I was never big on college football. Like it's if you watch my channel, you'll kind of see the type of football fan I am. I'm a Bengals fan, and then I just fall in love with certain players. Yeah. Right. So when Deshaun Watson was at Clemson, people thought I was a Clemson fan, but I was never a Clemson fan. I just was a Deshaun Watson fan. Yeah. So what happens is you start to learn about the whole team. You feel what I'm saying? So that's kind of how That's how I move around college. If there's a player that just get me excited for whatever reason, I'll watch them play every week. You know what I'm saying? But this year, I just didn't really have that. Like I kind of took a step back, and then the COVID thing is weird.
Yeah.
So like,
this season's been weird. Yeah, the thing was, because I texted you before we started that I did like I'm working on like a rant video right now.
Right.
And I never do that. Like I don't make rant videos. That's not what I do.
Right.
And it's because I don't pay attention to college football as much now, but I got an update on my phone. It's like, oh, check out the bracket. It's all locked in with like the eyes emoji. And so I click on it.
Same as it was last year.
And it is Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame. And right when I saw it, I just got pissed. Like I was just so pissed. And I'm like, I don't even know why I'm so pissed because I don't even watch, but I'm pissed. So I drinking some coffee. So I was obviously a little more amped than normal, but I was like storming around my house, just like talking about it to myself. Like, this is stupid shit. Like, what is this? And I just started writing. And then I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a video on this because I'm just so pissed about.
So you recorded it already?
Yeah, I've recorded the audio for it, and I should get it up tomorrow. Actually, that's my plan.
Dope.
Yeah,
I'm gonna definitely check. I gotta see
this. Yeah, I'm sure
you don't do mini rant videos. I'm sure.
No, it's gonna be like a hybrid video / rant. I'm not just gonna be like it's not just me on camera or anything. I'm not on camera.
Yeah,
it's just me doing kind of my format because I'm gonna talk about like the BCS system a little bit and talk about the college football playoff and how it's been so far and just my frustrations with it. I've been thinking about it for like 24 hours straight, so that's like what's on my mind.
Yeah. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah,
it should be interesting, man. I'm gonna definitely check it out.
Well, I know that you do a lot of rant videos.
I don't know if I do a lot of rant videos, but I definitely do them.
I guess going off of my scale of none. It's
Right. So it's kind of the same with you, like as with you do it though. Like it's usually kind of a hybrid. It's not the same as a typical rant. I got one or two that's just straight up rants. Like when y'all signed Odell Beckham, I was pissed. I remember I made a video because I wasn't pissed at y'all. I was pissed because I was looking at my team and I was like, the Browns doing everything they could possibly do to get better. And like we wasn't turning over no stones. And it made me mad, so I did a rant video on that. But like anytime I feel strongly about something, you gotta let the rant videos fly, bro. Just let them fly. And people generally get it. Like it's a rant video. This is like in a vacuum. So like if I really stood back from this and broke everything I've said in this video down, probably like 70% of this I won't even feel like this in 3 days when I calm down. But that's the whole point of the rant video, to capture how I'm feeling right in that moment and just post it. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I like that.
I get it because that's exactly how this video is. I could feel like my almost like my blood pressure at this level. And it's like the perfect amount for me to be like, okay, I got to get this written down while I'm feeling this way. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of it is justified true. Like I am frustrated with how it is because, I loved following college football growing up. But then when it's how it is, when it's like the same teams and it doesn't seem like the little guys have a shot. And it's not that I'm just about like everyone should have an equal shot. It's just, it's so boring. It's like, what am I tuning into? Yeah. And then the kid part of me wants a bigger tournament setting for like, if NCAA ever comes back, like having like a 16 or 24 team playoff in the video game itself. Mm-hmm. Dude, that would be sick.
I got to send a shout out to the cats at Operation Sports, bro. The cats at Operation Sports that do the NCAA rosters, bro, I've been up on, and I know so many players, like randomly, that's in the league now, and I've never been like a big college football guy as far as watching the product, but obviously I was always big on the game.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones. I was on Aaron Jones for everybody. My first series ever, the UTEP series, Aaron Jones was the star of my team from day one. I was like, yo, whoever this dude is on this one-star team, dog. Yeah. Dude named DeAndre Guyton, who played for, God damn it, I'm forgetting who he played for. I think it's the Chargers. But he played at UAB or North Texas. I'm forgetting. It was one of my green teams. But he was a dog for me. You know what I'm saying? Blasson, Austin. It's so many like sleeper dudes that I remember specifically from my NCAA series, and I see them in the league like doing their thing, and it'd be fire, bro. Like I don't ever make no videos trying to be like I was the first one to discover this dude and nothing like that, because it was completely by accident. I was just playing the damn game, and he was just making plays. You feel me? It ain't like I was scouting him since high school or something, but like them dudes really came through because they, even without me being deep into like actual college football, they really, like I feel like I was, because like my knowledge of like all of these random obscure players is pretty damn high. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool, bro.
That's just the beauty of college football. Like I think if you can watch both, that's the ultimate. Like you see the talent play out. Mm-hmm. If you play the video game, you also get that. You get so many more names and understand, oh, who's this guy? Who's that guy? You play against some quarterback who's like insane, but he plays for a MAC team, so like, you would never have heard of him in your life.
But when you see him then again in real life, you remember him. Like, yeah, exactly. This damn dude, bro, he was killing me. Like, yeah.
That's, dude, it's weird because I feel like I could talk about it. I just don't have the whole idea fully formulated. But the correlation between playing the video game and watching in real life, and then like also paying attention to the NFL was like the perfect like triangle of like paying attention to football for me. But then the video game died, obviously, like they got rid of it. Yep. College football to me now is more boring with the college football playoff. And so when I see the names coming into the NFL, like I don't know who they are as much unless they happen to play for Boise State, the one team I kind of pay attention to.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's just kind of like, I don't care. Is he good? If he is, great. Like, I don't have the same connection to the players as much as if I knew who they were as a freshman in NCAA football, the video game. And I'm like, ooh, this guy is dope. And then I see him progress through his actual career. And then you just have more of a connection with the dude. You feel for him more. So I definitely miss that a lot.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, people ask me this every single day, and there's no answer to it, but I'm just asking anyway. Do you think the game is ever coming back?
I'm always just blind optimism. I say yes, because I think they could find a way. What?
Timeline.
That's hard. They signed. No, what? There was something that happened recently that I can't remember. Honestly, I haven't done enough research to justify a true, legitimate response. But if I had to give just like a faith answer, I'm saying within 5 to 10 years, that sucks. But you look at like the potential of like the money that they see from that, because they're obviously going to look from a money standpoint. Like they're not looking for like we have this old fan base that's diehard and they want to, like, no, they don't give a shit. Obviously. But you find a way that's like, how can we pay the players not that much? I'm just talking from their perspective. How can we pay them enough to where it's justified and get this video game out and make money? Thinking about it right now, I don't even know if that's possible. That's what makes me worried about it. But if they can find a way, then I think it happens in 5 to 10 years.
You're a little more plugged into this than I am, so that's why I'm asking you. Do you feel like college football's popularity overall is starting to taper off?
I think if you look at smaller markets of like non-college towns of kids who grew up playing the game, for sure. Big towns, if you grow up in Columbus, Ohio, or, Norman, Oklahoma, Austin, Texas, it's like, I'm sure the fan bases are very similar size, because when you're like diehard in the city of the big team, I bet it's been the same as it always has. It's just big time college difference. Yeah, big time college football. It's just, that's how it is. You go to a game with 100,000 fans and it's unbelievable. Like 2020 is different. This is a kind of a weird year. You can't really count, but in the grand scheme of it, college football hasn't died off much from the popularity of the big team standpoint. But like the random fans of like the smaller teams, or just a fan of the game because you played it, it's definitely like, I don't know how long, I don't know the effects of that long term. I definitely feel like the interest in it has lowered.
I just wonder how long it would take before they felt that. Probably too long to really lead anywhere good for us. Because I'm trying to think like what would actually hold a fire under their feet to make them like, okay, let's make this happen. Let's get this game back on the market. You feel what I'm saying?
I think that the idea of a game helping the popularity of the sport itself is such a small thing in their scale of what they think would help drive the popularity, that even if it was dipping at like a rate of what's going on here, they would look at restructuring the system. They would look at like doing different, like I think the game itself would take like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if the game itself is even close to the front of their minds, because they clearly got rid of it. They were willing to get rid of it. And they signed the current playoff system through 2026. It was a 12-year contract. And even though the majority of Big Five or Power Five people who wanted the system, they wanted more teams, they still were like, oh, we're doing 4 teams. We're going to stick to it the way we are. We're doing what we want. And they signed these massive contracts. It's kind of like how when they signed the Madden exclusive rights deal, they signed a long deal. So they make these long deals and they look at things over like a span of a long period of time, not year to year. So I think it would take like a decade of consistently getting worse before that was even be a consideration of like, oh, maybe the game would, like, I don't even think they would think that, that's the downside.
I wonder if they would ever get any younger voices in there, because all them dudes are so old and out of touch.
Yeah.
And I think they just been riding on the fact that they obviously have an extremely hot product, but I don't think they've done much to grow it. They've just been kind of riding it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they've just been riding what was already created. They haven't done anything to bring any new blood into it. So I feel like that's a fact, but I also feel like what you said is a fact. It would probably take so long for them to feel any effects of it that, it's no point in like trying to latch our hopes on to that. Like, okay, we need to get the young crowd back in here. Like by the time they need to get the young crowd back in here, we'll be old. You know what I'm saying?
It's the old like, oh, we talked about it with the Tree podcast. It's like, oh, the NBA gets so many more views on YouTube, big young audience. It's like their actual ratings aren't even that great. And the NFL is absolutely dominant, and college football is like right up there too. It's like one of the highest watched sports. Yeah. So it's like they just see those numbers. It's like they're going to be making money, and as long as they're making big money, because it'll be a long time before they're not, probably. Because even with all this stuff about paying athletes and stuff, it's like that's like just like chump change.
At that point, though, because we know like all these bills and stuff are passing soon. Like it's one going to pass, and the one in California, I think in like a month or two, the Fair Pay for Play bill. Or act or whatever. Like with that stuff, it doesn't hurt them. Like it doesn't take anything from them at that point to let the game go forward. You feel what I'm saying? Like I know why they shut it down in the past, because it was like, well, this only represents this percentage of our margins, and if we allow the players to get paid from this, we know that's going to lead to them wanting TV money splits, and you feel me? Like they knew where that path was going to go. If it's already going that way, at that point, why turn down the extra revenue from the game? At least that's my hopes, man. That's my hopes.
I think we look at it from a perspective of like how the game could benefit the sport itself. And I just think they're so far removed from thinking about a video game and how it can benefit. It would have to take some sort of connection with the NFL, and the NFL being like, here's how much Madden benefits us.
But I mean, look at it. Like, video games are huge. They're bigger than they've ever been. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, gaming is bigger than it's ever been. It's a bigger industry than it's ever been. That's why it's so, like, shady right now. That's why it's so bad. Like, with, with Madden peddling out subpar products, because the money, they just raking it. They just raking in the dough. It's like free money out there, bro. And so it's hard for me to think that they can't see that. Like, I know they see that. Like, it's pretty insane right now. It'll probably be a bunch of stupid restrictions, and like they'll monetize it in weird ways and probably ruin it, to be honest. But I'm still here for the attempt. I'm here for the attempt, man.
I'm always going to hold out optimism that the game's coming back, just because no matter what, even if they bring it back and it is full of microtransactions, they just shove Ultimate Team in your face, and it's annoying and it's targeted towards like 12-year-olds. As long as like the dynasty mode is half decent with updated everything, but it's like, I don't know if that's going to be, even if the game comes back, that's what I'm worried about.
That's the issue. Because if you think about it in like Call of Duty terms now, it's like, I still buy Call of Duty but I have less stuff. Like the 6v6 mode which is the core of which is how this thing started. Less and less and less attention every year.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that Dynasty mode would likely be the same. We probably wouldn't have even as much as we had in NCAA 14. Like they'll start us on some bare bones system, start us over, and we'll be cool with that for the first year because it's like we got the game back. So we'll be happy, and they'll promise all this stuff, this 3-year process, and then 5 years later, we're like, we still don't have, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what happened with Madden. Like the same thing happened with Madden, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna try their best to go that route because they want to do as little work as possible and make as much bread as possible. And we've seen that, and these companies don't have a problem like being completely anti-consumer. They don't care. Like they'll just take the bread and run.
Talking about how bad EA is and stuff. It's beating a dead horse, but I think it is important to know that it's probably not going to change. Because
for sure.
Even if they get a 0.7 rating out of 10, a 0 out of 10 on Metacritic, it doesn't matter because they have so many kids now who don't know any different from what the game is playing it, growing up on the idea that Ultimate Team or how the game is played now, how the gameplay, it's more about like animations rather than physics. Yeah. And the beauty of like the old NCAA is like it's more physics based.
Yeah.
But now it's animation based, and they can use that to their advantage because then it's like, oh, you just make a player overpowered if you want the kid to feel like he's better than he is, or you make the other team better animation wise if you want the kid to be like, oh, I need to spend more money to make my team better. It's like they've already got those kids. They already got them. They already got them, and it's gonna stay that way. And there's nothing they can do. Like there's not like a rally of all the kids under 14 who are buying the game going like, we need a better product. It's like all the old heads that they don't care about.
Did you ever imagine, bro, when you was playing PlayStation 2, like in PlayStation 3, did you imagine that 10, 15 years down the line, the game would be 50 times worse? Like that never crossed my mind one time. Like I always just knew and assume, I'm sure everybody did. Like if you took yourself back to where you was then, you're like, bro, in 10 years, it's gonna be crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? The graphics gonna be crazy, and they're only gonna add. There'll be more space to add more stuff. But for some reason, we got less features. You know what I'm saying? And then they be selling you features back, like old features. It's real. It's crazy right now, bro. Like just gaming in general. Like, did you see the thing with Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I did. They refunded everyone on old consoles and everything, and it was just so bad.
The game
and it's been in production for 7 years or whatever.
Yeah, and they pushed it back, and they've been hyping it. I never really understood the hype, to be honest, because they wasn't showing no gameplay. Just Keanu Reeves would walk out on stage, and all the nerds would go crazy. And I was like, yo, I want to try this game because the hype is so high. But I was like, I don't really get it, but I just want to see. Like, but I ain't buy it because I was gonna wait on the reviews, and they were horrible. So.
Agreed. That's exactly what I did too. And growing up, I had been fooled me once, fooled me twice, fooled me 3 times, fooled me a million times. Yeah. So many times that I don't know how people still get I'm going to buy it on day one and get so pissed because it's bad.
I still get got though. Well, I don't get so pissed though. That's the difference. Like I buy Call of Duty every year, and I always know it's going to be some BS every year. But like I love the core game so much that I can still usually enjoy it. But I can't help but play it and be like, bruh, if they just did these small tweaks, if they just gave a damn, this game would be 50 times better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't even still be having these problems. Like I shouldn't be having these connection issues just because you got to match me based on somebody with the same KD as me. Like match me with the dude that's close to me with the good connection. You feel me? But they'll just tank your connection, tank your experience completely just to protect some new dude over here. And so it's crazy, man. The gaming is in a really dark space right now, bro. It should be in a much better space, but it's not. Like it's in a terrible spot. It's crazy.
Growing up, it's so funny thinking, like, oh, if the graphics just look better, it's like, oh, we're just gonna keep getting the same game, but the graphics will look better. And then the next one, it's like, oh, check out how the grass comes off his cleat.
I used to feel like that though. Yeah, that used to happen like year to year, or every couple of years. It'd be like feel like a big leap.
Yeah,
and now it's just.
I remember playing NCAA 12 or 13, and my uncle walking in, and he's not a gamer at all, and he thought I was watching a game on TV.
That's insane.
And so he was watching this game play out as if it was a real game for like a few minutes, and he's like, "Wait, is this a real game or what's going on?" I'm like, "No, I'm playing." And he was so shocked when I said I was playing. He just was like, because I was playing in Boise State. So it's like, he was like, "Oh, a Boise State game's on. It's just a Boise State game." And the stadium looks legit because it's like, that's right around the time when like it would do those zoom outs and it just looked so good.
You had to have the setup for him to think that NCAA 13 was an actual game on TV, bro. Like, your setup had to be A1. Did you have like surround sound in there or something?
No. Well, dude, I'm telling you, if you don't watch sports he's not like a sports watcher.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, if you don't watch any sports at all and you hadn't watched sports and you haven't known about how good video games had gotten to that point graphics wise, you wouldn't know what to think because you're used to seeing Tecmo Bowl. You're used to seeing like little dots on the screen. And all of a sudden there's like, it shows the crowd, like not the crowd up close, but like that kind of far away cam going around the field and the players from afar. Just enough to fool you if you don't know.
So the hot take is, it's really your uncle's fault. It's like, not your uncle individually, but it's like they went after that crowd, right? So now if somebody who doesn't play games looks at Madden, they'll be like, "Yo, this looks really damn good. Like, look how realistic it looks." You know what I'm saying? But like, they don't understand, and they'll look at, "Man, look how Odell, he catch the ball exactly like that in real life." Well, yeah, because it's an animation, and if I just hit this button, he'll do it 100% of the time.
It's not a crazy skill with the controller.
Exactly. And it's not like a rare occurrence that happens like once in a season. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you can get excited because it don't happen often. Nah, this happened a couple times a game. At least.
Yeah. Yes.
At least a couple times a game. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I've played way too much football video games that I remember the first time I saw an Odell catch in Madden, like I was playing, and it just pissed me off. Like, because one, it wasn't Odell, and that catch has only happened once ever, right?
Right.
Two, it was just like a regular receiver. Like, it was just a guy. Probably like a high 80s overall. Someone who could make great catches, but it's like, you throw a deep bomb and he's double covered and he catches it. And I'm just like, I remember throwing it and being like, what was that? Yeah. Why did he catch it like that? Like, it just made me mad because I'm like, it's clearly not, that would never happen.
I felt like that for a long time, though. I remember in Madden maybe 13 or something like that. Was it 13? I don't know, but I think it was T.O. The ball was behind. He's running like a slant, right? Instead of just catching a touchdown, he jumps up and reaches behind him. It's like a stupid animation that makes no sense. Like, you would never pull this catch out in real life in this situation. It doesn't make any sense. And the ball is going to get broken up because you got the DB stacked on your back. So why the hell would you jump forward and then reach backwards? Like, it was so stupid. It was a touchdown, and I was in the dorm room. Everybody went crazy. And I was like, yo, this shit is trash. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's trash, bro. Like, it's unbelievable, bro. Like, they spam these animations in the game.
These cool-looking animations.
Young kids and more casual fans go crazy about it. And I think it would be cool if they could actually do that and put that in an arcade setting, and then they could go and play their game and have all the fun they want. I don't want to take nothing from them. I just don't like when you mix that with, when I put it on sim, you feel me, on sim style, simulation style, I don't want that. Like, I want actual football or something close to it. I understand it's a video game. It's not going to be perfect. You feel me? But it's like, it's so ridiculous, and you're going out of your way to add the ridiculous stuff. Instead of fixing this issue I had, you're trying to sell the game, so now you got to go and add 18 more gimmicks that's just going to break the game even further. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
It's just broken from the baseline, and they're just, they covering it with a Band-Aid. Yeah.
Yeah, every year.
The two things I ever wanted, my wish list of gameplay mechanics, I'm just going to say it just for fun, was receivers being smarter. So, like, imagine they do like a curl route, but they're covered. And they just like move, and it's a zone. They just move out slightly to the side. Like, they just kind of like shuffle out and they get open.
But only some guys.
Yeah. No, they have to have the ability.
Where's your awareness at? You feel me? Like, what number? You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's what make it dope, bro. I felt like NCAA was like that. And I know maybe this is in my head, but I played NCAA for years, and I would have players that were so smart. It wasn't really based on nothing. It was kind of random, which I used to love because you're recruiting. And I have players who their attributes wouldn't be that great, but they just know how to get open. Like when I get out the pocket, they always manage to get open, or they always seem to catch that sideline catch and get their feet in. For whatever reason, I know I can rely on them. And it starts to feel real because in a third down situation, I'm going to this cat. Even though he's the third best receiver on my team, he's my possession guy. And, that's who I go to in these type of situations. And it was so fun, bro, because like just learning about your players, and there was things to actually learn about them. Whereas like on Madden, you have the badge system, and the badge system is not a terrible idea. The problem with the badge system is it's tuned for Ultimate Team. Yeah, it's not tuned for franchise. So it get real ridiculous real fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
I remember my roommate might listen to this, my old roommate. And he always thought like the X Factors made it like, oh, you run like they turn on, it's like they're crazy and stuff. It's like it's cool. The idea behind it's cool, but I remember just getting so annoyed because one of my other roommates, we played Dynasty or franchise, and he had Melvin Gordon, and he would do a stretch right every time. And no matter what I did, he would like, it was the first one free or whatever, he would juke the guy out guaranteed. Every time, no matter who it was. Doesn't matter if it's my leading tackler or, my corner. It doesn't matter. Well, he jukes him out.
You can stop that if you have, so you got to have the dude with the sure tackler. You feel me? And then you could cancel the first one free out. I don't know if it was like that.
You watch a real game, and it's like you don't get, the first guy doesn't get juked out no matter what. It's not guaranteed.
So my question is, how do you balance that in game? You feel me?
I still think you have to go back to the fundamental mechanics of the gameplay. It's already broken, so just adding things onto it, like he gets the first one, so then you give the tackler something good. It's like I just think that it's a broken system from the get go. And
how would you make like star players stand out in the NFL though without a badge system?
Yeah,
like I think a badge system is necessary. The way they implemented it. See, in my dynasty, in Madden 20, Madden 21, forget that game, it sucks. But in Madden 20, it's just my friends. So there's certain things we would agree to not use or to not abuse. And we would just use the ones that kind of was decently balanced and made sense. And we was able to have fun for probably about 7 seasons. Wow. That was the most I played Madden in years, you know what I'm saying, on Madden 20 on PC.
Yeah.
Because you got good graphics, you got good frame rate relative to console, right? And, we was able to do that, but it's just got to be like some common sense with it. But you don't really have a lot of ability as the commissioner to maybe, cancel out certain ones. Like, all right, this we not going to have in our dynasty. Maybe they might have added that in 21. I'm really not sure because I didn't really play it. Yeah. But I should be able to take certain ones out. Like, first one free, we going to take that out. You feel me? Because them souped up running backs already have like faster animations than other people have anyway. So that's really enough, in my opinion, to separate them. They don't really need this cheese first one free where he's untackleable every time he gets it. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of take that out. And you can balance it and find a way to have fun with it. You shouldn't have to do all of that. And there's really not enough control there to be able to do it perfectly. But there is some fun to be had with it if you can set it up right. You know what I'm saying?
All I really want is that the physics make sense. So I was talking about my wish list of things I wanted, with the first one being receivers being smarter. Mm-hmm. But the second one was I always wanted to make like a 240-pound running back that had like a neck pad that every time he ran the ball and he was on a 1v1, not that he would just decapitate the guy and keep running, but like he would fall forward every time he got tackled by a smaller guy. But you could play it doesn't matter how good the game was at any point in time. It's like you could run at like a corner with like running full speed and you'll get that like flat back animation and the guy's just standing still and he just flat backs him. And it's like, all I want is to run a guy over consistently with some beast running back that I make.
I had that on NCAA, bro. Every time you say this stuff, like it's a player. This is why this game is so good, y'all. This is what I be saying. The dude you just described, Jerome Simpson, is a white running back I had when I was on my UTEP series, probably year 5 or 6 or something like that. This man, he was slow as hell. He was like an 80 speed, but he was a beast, bro. Like, he fell forward every single time. Like, he wasn't going to break no big runs, but he was running over that first dude, or at the very least, he's going to fall for 2 or 3 yards. You know what I'm saying? So he my short yardage goal line back, and it worked perfectly. And he filled that role for me for like 3 years, you know, and I love that dude, bro, because he was what he was. And like, you could get those type of players on NCAA with I don't know, it was just like the way it worked. It would really stand out and be good at like one specific thing. And if you were like a football dude and you learn like what they good at and then just play to their strengths, bro, like, it used to be so fun, dog. I remember that I had him and I had like a scat back, you know, quicker dude who kind of hit cats up, like my big play running back. But then I had Simpson, and I just eventually just made Simpson my every down back. Like, I was like, look, bro, the dude's so effective. I don't care that he's at 80 speed. Like, he a dog, bro. And it's just fun playing with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's fun playing with a beast who's just going to run through cats. You know what I'm saying? Like 90% of the time. It was great.
Yeah, my thing growing up, and it's because this goes back to how I played football and how I watched football and what I always saw work. Like, you look at USC with Lendell White and Reggie Bush. Like a great 1-2 thunder and lightning.
Yep.
And, you know, on my first tackle football team, we had a running back who was kind of the thunder and I was the lightning. And so I was always obsessed with that idea of like the 2-back system. But even though I've played NCAA, I've been playing NCAA since 2005, you know. I bought almost every single one, and I played at least a long dynasty or 2 on every single one. So it's like, I've played the game a lot.
Yeah.
I've just noticed that there wasn't consistency with, like, if you could have a 5'9", 170-pound running back, but if you had high break tackle, you could still get those animations. Like, it would like be unrealistic all the time, even on the best NCAA. I'm not arguing what you're saying with like, oh, you had the bigger dude and you had the stats and stuff. That's cool. But just in my experience, it's like I would have like a 6'6" receiver with high spectacular catch and like jump ball ability, and he would get picked off by 5'10" corners all the time on a 1v1 deep down the field. And that's just how it would happen. Like, unless
maybe in user games. Against a computer, like, I can't see that. Like, I can't really see that happening unless the dude was just trash.
It's hard to kind of hash this over because we've had different experiences. So it's like, no matter what I say, you're going to go back to things that you've experienced. So it's not like we're going to win an argument here.
Did you know Did you know that they had rat catch and spectacular catch and all that in NCAA?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're using that, I don't understand how you're throwing a pick one-on-one with a 6'6" dude. You know what I'm saying? Because if you position yourself right, he should get the animation. He ain't gonna catch it every time, but it's not gonna get picked.
I've just noticed that they do that, like that turnaround classic same catch animation, that even if the ball's high and the receiver does that, like, it can just redirect the ball into the hands of the DB. Like, even on NCAA 14, I don't remember experiencing that. It does. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't even.
I might have rose tinted glasses, but I just don't remember having those.
Yeah, it's easy to look at NCAA 14 in like a shining light because it's by far the best one I've played, and I've played so many dynasties on it by myself with roommates. I mean, I've played multiple like 7 to 8 year dynasties on it. You know what I mean? It's probably my favorite football game of all time. It's one I've tried to go back to. I just played it too much. So I definitely have like fond memories of it, but I've played it enough to like know the things that I don't like about it. And those are just part of it. You know what I mean? Just coming off the top of my head, just thinking
Only time I remember having them type of issues is when I play user games. When I play against other, because the cheese is there and the game is a lot of broken mechanics.
Yeah.
And people abuse them. And when that happens, it ruins the game. You feel me? But just on a dynasty setting, when I'm just going through a dynasty with my trash team against the CPU with souped up sliders, you know, I could pretty much control the action. Like, kind of how I want it. I'm not going to win every game, you know what I'm saying? But it's just not a whole lot of bullshit. And, like, the bullshit that's there, I can accept because it's like the computer kind of need this in order to just have a chance to win the game. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's certain BS that they can do that nobody else can do, like that when they, like, cover the ball with 2 hands and they get, like, really low and get super fast. Like, you can't do that, but, you know, it's cool because it would separate the computer from a person and they help. That's like their little thing. That's fine with me. I know all the quarterbacks on Heisman can't be tackled. I understand they're gonna run over my damn linebacker half of the time. That's one thing that does suck. I will say the Heisman quarterbacks running over my defensive players, that pisses me off, bro.
Yeah.
That's the one thing.
I've just noticed, and honestly, I don't know how much longer I want to talk about NCAA, just because it's like the
NCAA,
more I think,
bro, you can talk about it forever. What you mean?
The fact that like, yeah, you can't tackle the quarterback, even if he's like, Tulsa's quarterback or some no name. He could be like an 80 overall, but he will drop back and then run, and you can't do anything about it.
Gang tackling.
But then the defense, no matter what, was always bad. Like you could always run curls or a dig route or the verticals, just any of those plays, and it's like no matter what, you were gonna find a guy open. Like I never noticed not having issues. Like I would play on Heisman, adjust the sliders, and I still never had issues defensively. Offensively. And defensively, unless I did cheese plays, like I called it the Husky defense, where it was a 5-2, 5 defensive linemen, and I would control the middle linebacker, and I would do the rocking at the line of scrimmage, and then right when they'd snap out, I'd bust through, and I'd go right between the guard and
see, that's the
center.
cheese. That's the cheese that ruins the damn game.
Yeah, agreed. No, it's stupid. And I did it just for fun because it's like just seeing how many sacks I can get in a season. But if I didn't do that and I ran normal coverages, like no matter what, they would find guys open. Even if they weren't, even if I had very high level DBs and they didn't have that great of receivers, they would still get open on outs and ins.
Under almost exclusively, just for fun. And I free run with my safety. And it's kind of hard sometimes, but I just force myself to make plays and force my dudes to make plays. And it's the most fun way to play for me, bro. Because my corners is one-on-one. So if they get smoked, they get smoked. You feel me? Yeah. And we just got to make enough plays as the defense to win. And when the defense get good enough and we getting 4-5 picks a damn game, at that point, the defense becomes dominant. We're just running a vanilla.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's because you get 6-7 years into a dynasty. I had one with Northern Illinois where I had 4 corners all over 90 overall with 99 man coverage. And so I would run dime package, cover 2 every single play. And actually I do cover 1 hole every single play. I'd use the deep safety. And yeah, I could get 5 to 6 picks a game, but it took that long. I'd had to have 4 90 overall corners before that actually worked.
Right, well, we have different. I think I'm probably just better at that particular thing because I'm doing that shit in year 1 and 2.
I mean, I beat you in our 1 head-to-head, but yeah,
trash team. I'm not great head-to-head, but I'm great at just going through a dynasty and not having it not be boring as fuck. When y'all be playing dynasty, bro, you pick the OP defense, you run the OP offense. I don't do none of that. I put myself in position to really get messed over by the computer. I give them a chance. That's how I play. And it's fun. It's more fun like that for me.
You ever run the triple option?
Every now and then I'll run it. But I don't run a triple option offense where I'm strictly running it.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Commit fully to the triple option. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the most boring shit I could imagine. I couldn't do that. I did it in an RTG one time. I did a road to glory called How Friends Became Rivals. And so I had a black quarterback that went to Georgia. He was super talented, big arm dude. And then there was a smaller guy, a white dude named Alvin. He went to Georgia Tech, right? And they was boys in high school, and then they went to these schools and they ended up becoming rivals. So I ran the triple option exclusively with Alvin. And he did his thing, and you know what I'm saying? And that's the only time I really just committed to it though. But that was just for the story. Yeah,
no. I've definitely done different schemes. I've run pro style offenses. I've run spread. I've run triple option as a joke. So, and then I've run 4-3, 3-4, 5-2, like I said, 3-3-5. So it's I got to the point where I was experimenting because you can run I would just do a season. I did a season or 2 where I did those cheese plays just to see, and I got 150 sacks with a guy. Actually, I think I put the screenshots on Twitter.
You make it through a whole season with that bullshit. I can't. I just can't. I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't do it, bro.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can't do that now. It's definitely a thing of the past. It's how many picks can you get with one guy? That's a fun challenge for me. It's the same thing with how many sacks can I get with one guy.
Well, yeah, because that's, again, I play defense. I'm playing with one dude. But I'm not well, I guess picking the screens is a bit cheesy. But I could do that on any football game.
That's exactly. That's the problem with football games, and I don't know if this will ever change, is it's so hard to not use the cheese plays that it's like knowing that they're there almost makes it like less intense because you're like 4th and 15. I know I could run this play and it works.
But you got to set it up right, bro. If you set it up right, that's just not the case because you're at such a disadvantage. Like if you got 70, if the computer on 70 sliders, you're on 20. You got a 1-star school playing against Alabama. Everything is against you. So when they run that screen, you need this pick. Like if you don't catch that, you're gonna lose for sure. Like you're gonna have to take advantage of every one of them situations to barely win the game. And then once your team get good in like 3-4 years, I leave. You know what I'm saying? And I go somewhere else because I only want to have a trash team. Like I probably only let my team get good in a dynasty like maybe twice. Like the first one I did, and then I think the last one I did just to see. I did like an extra couple years just to see if I could three-peat in a national championship. But it got to the point where I started winning the Natty in the first year with a 1-star school playing a A+ schedule with crazy sliders. And at that point, I started to get bored with it. But like the stories kind of kept me. The stories would keep me going. Like I'll just suspend my best player for no reason. Yeah. I'm like, this dude, he got caught with this or he was in a wreck. So this quarterback, he's not playing. This 99 overall dude, he ain't playing. This freshman got a star. He's a 78. And I'll just keep kind of creating that, and that will keep it interesting for me.
Yeah, that's what I miss about NCAA 05 because as old as that game is, it was so funny because you could like advance to the next week and it's like, oh, you're starting cornerback did something stupid. He's suspended you can suspend him for either the season or just 4 games, but he's at least out for 4 games. And it's like those kind of random things, like it's just such a cool idea. But as soon as the game starts doing them for you too much, like Madden almost like people think that like those things make the game better. 'Cause I do, but then they do it for you. Like they make the story for you. Like long shot.
That shit is trash. Like that's never, I don't want to rant here, but I have to. Because that was never what people liked about career mode. I never played career mode so I can come in and do a narrative that's already decided.
Yeah,
that defeat the whole purpose. I'm doing the career mode because I want my story to play out based on how I perform and based on the decisions I make and how I build my dude. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want it to be like different every single time. I never touched long shot. I never touched whatever the new stupid story mode that got in this last year's game. I heard it was trash. But it's like that's the type of stuff that made me mad because it's like, how can they be so detached, bro, to think, okay, everybody asking for a career mode. We want a career mode, a superstar mode, and this is what they give you. You wanted college teams? You got it. You're going to play in 2 college games after your high school career, and then you can go play normal goddamn franchise mode, but with 1 player. It's like, bro, y'all cannot be serious, and that stuff costs more money than it would, I think. I don't really know. But you have to pay voice actors. You got to do all this animation. I don't want cutscenes. Like, people be thinking cutscenes is the move. Cutscenes ruins it. You can really give me text and, like, pictures, like stuff that the game can create dynamically while I'm playing. You feel me? Because a cutscene got to be pre-decided. You feel what I'm saying?
You ever play NCAA 06 with the girlfriends?
I don't remember the girlfriends.
It was just like a stupid, you'd be in your dorm room and you start with like this ugly chick and she was like your girlfriend. And then as you got better, it's like she got hotter and hotter. And then by the end, she's like a dime.
Yo, that is so fucked up.
It is.
And it's so hilarious because imagine the chick that looked like that first. You feel me?
She's sitting on the couch.
And she's like, wait a minute. Wait, so you started with me. Okay. And you build up to like, that's tough, bro. It's really,
so
really
bad,
tough.
but it's so funny, especially when you're a kid.
Hilarious, though. Yeah, they should bring that back. I would, dog.
You know, they get canceled
because it would get canceled, but it had to be like a side thing. It can't be like, and that's the problem today, though. Like back then, that might be a small little thing in the game that like people who really play the game, like you notice it and you really like that. But like now, it gotta go in the back of the box. Like if they can't put it on the back of the box, it can't go in the game. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta sound good, which it never really does. It always sounds like marketing speak. But look, I gotta go to the bathroom, bro. I'll be right back. Let's pause for a second.
Well, I was just thinking about the NFL. Have you been watching any NFL games?
Mm-hmm. I've been watching some.
So when it comes to non-Bengals games, how do you watch games? Do you just have it on and you kind of check every once in a while? Or are you actually sitting down and watching? Like, what do you do?
Depends. Like, sometimes I can really get into games. It just needs to be, if it's a non-Bengals game, it got to be like somewhat of a narrative. You feel me? And if it's a narrative, like it need to be two good teams or a quarterback I want to see for the first time, something like that. I sit down. I usually get in a party chat, excuse me, with a couple of my partners, and we watch the game and talk shit. You know.
Yeah, you don't have a problem with like someone's game being ahead of the other. Like, do you watch it? Is it streaming?
We sync them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we sync them. We sync them. I'm always ahead because for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I'm always
Better
ahead.
internet?
So maybe, and like I'm also, if we all watching on like crack streams, would be close. But I'm usually watching on like YouTube TV or something,
Yeah.
so I could get like better HD. If it's like a primetime game, especially. And so I'll just pause it on. All right, look, I'm at 13:52. You know, let me know. 3, 2, boom. We synced up.
Yeah.
You feel me? And we'll watch it like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
I respect that. I definitely I like to watch Browns games by myself, and I don't think I'll ever enjoy watching them with other people. That's just
I'm
how
like
it'll
that
be.
too with Bengals games.
Yeah. And then outside of that, I love watching, especially playoff games, going to like a Buffalo Wild Wings or something, where there's fans of the teams in there, and you can see them getting pissed. And like I don't like to get happy about other people's misery, but it's because I feel it so often that it's like I know what they're feeling. It makes me feel good. That's probably a bad thing.
It sucks, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's kind of fucked up.
I remember the year that the double doink happened for the Bears. There was like a diehard Bears fan and his girlfriend, and it was one of those guys where, the girlfriend's trying to like, help him cope and stuff, and he's just one of those guys that it's like doesn't care who's watching him, doesn't care what's going on. He's just yelling and screaming and like stomping around the restaurant. And it's so funny to me to watch because it's like, that's how I feel when I'm at my house. Cause it's like, no one's watching me. I can act my way, but this guy's doing it in front of everyone. And it's so funny because he's acting like a kid, Yeah. And then you just hope the Bears lose to see how he'll react. And of course they lose in like the most dramatic way possible on the double doink. And just like the heartbreak, you see him for like 10 minutes, like where he has his head down in his hands.
Yes.
Oh man, that's the beauty of the NFL playoffs right there.
I miss watching a game like before the party chat when all my partners lived in the same place and before the pandemic and all that. We just click up, like it give me a reason to go and chill with my partners, right?
Yeah.
So we chilling, we got drinks, you know what I'm saying, smoking, everybody talking shit, everybody talking about like, and this is like on commercials, halftime, in between action. Everybody talking about like they plans, like what they got coming up, and it's like it's just a good, you know what I'm saying, it's a good environment, and I'm kind of, I am kind of that dude that's like trying to motivate people and shit. Like I almost hate being that person, but that's just really who I am. Like I feel like I get preachy sometimes, but it's just how I am, especially when we get to drinking and stuff. So everybody come out that thing feeling just way better than they went in. And on top of that, we get to watch some football and I can school whoever my partners is on what's really going on in this game because they're reading it completely wrong, in my opinion, right? Sometimes I learn stuff like my homeboy, a linebacker, so he watched stuff from a defensive minded way. And he actually really good at it. So he can explain a lot of stuff to me that I might be misunderstanding. It's just, I don't know, bro. That's the atmosphere I like. Like I've watched games at like Buffalo Wild Wings and the restaurants and stuff, and it's cool, but it's really not my preferred way. My preferred way is on a nice setup, nice TV, good sound, comfortable setting. You know what I'm saying? If you want to parade, like, if cats want to bring a couple girls through here, whatever like that, and we just chill and watch the game. Like that's my preferred setting. The second the game go off, I'm on like Call of Duty or something, like immediately. Or we're like outside playing basketball. Like, I immediately want to transition into the next thing. Like game over, next thing start now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got to leave Buffalo Wild Wings. We ain't got to drive home. We ain't got to do none of that. Let's just start the next thing. You was talking shit during the game. Oh, you think you fat? Let's go race. Like, boom, we just go race immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go race right now. It is like that type of environment with a bunch of dudes that, all of us probably slow as hell, but we all think we fast. We think we could beat our partner. I just like that environment, bro. It's like, it's competitive, but it's love at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
I respect that, but I've never really watched games like that because I don't know if it's like the lack of sports knowledge over where I live, but California is a place where everyone's got so many things they can go do that sports is kind of like this. Oh, they're playing right now. Oh, okay. Cool. I'll check the score. Like they don't care. Most people don't care.
Yeah.
So even when we've done like gathering settings, it's like no one's watching the game as like an observer of like the appreciator of the sport. They're just kind of like watching,
Yeah.
So there's no like high level. So for me, I just love seeing the emotion of the game. So I don't care if there's some drunk guy who all he knows is to yell when they call holding on his team. Hey, that's bullshit. That wasn't holding. Like he's such a dumb fan.
That's just so annoying to me.
To me, it is annoying, but it's so funny too because it's like when you get a bunch of those people and then it's overly loud. It's so
You
fun.
like that? You should come to Baton Rouge, bro. Like go to Baton Rouge and watch a Saints game in a crowded area.
I was there, and
you will hear all the bullshit you need to hear. Like a bunch of cats that. Look, I hate to do this to Saints fans because they're very passionate. Most of them dudes have no idea what the hell they talk about, like at all. But they're loud and they're like so sure of what they're saying, and it's a group of them, so you can't fight them. If you can say the thing that make the most sense, like you know what I'm saying, and they'll be like, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like they throwing that out. They ain't trying to hear like no analysis, no breakdown, nothing like that. It's like they know like 3 things and they just yell that shit the whole game. And I hate that. I hate it a lot.
I mean, obviously, we always have our experiences. So someone can be like, this fan base is the worst or this fan base is the best just based on like the few fans they've interacted with, Right. It's not fully based on the whole fan base. It's just who they've met. Yeah. But when I went to Cleveland, man, I was so shocked because there was these girls sitting next to us that look like the classic girls who don't know anything about football. They're like blonde, pretty, like dressed nice, got their makeup done, and they're like just kind of like those classic girls, like they got their shopping bags kind of thing, their purses. And they were calling stuff out on the field, like schemes and stuff and like players, like work, like things, stunt blitz. Like they were saying terms that I'd never heard a girl say. And it's like not even like being like, oh, girls can't know football. But I grew up around like the guys watch the game and the girls like, they come along and they'll pretend like they're watching, but they talk amongst their friends or whatever. So when I was like more stunned at that. Like I was just so amazed.
That's
I was
crazy.
Like, this is
I would
sweet.
be amazed at that. Yeah, so that's wild, bro.
That was the coolest thing about going to a game in Cleveland was a lot of the fans just were much more knowledgeable than I expected. And it's not that I like to be around dumb fans, just because I like seeing dumb fans get way into it and then like it going bad for them.
You think
like,
it's because? Sorry.
Go ahead.
You think it's because y'all been bad for so long?
That what?
That the fans y'all have are good fans, like real fans that understand what's going on because it's you've withered out all the BS. Like there's no flash, or at least there wasn't at that time with the team. So you don't have it like when you go to Jerry World, half the people in Jerry World just there for the scene. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like what you were saying in LA. You know what I'm saying? But when you have like a bad team, the fans at them games is like them fans, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not just here because this is the popular thing to do. It's not the popular thing to do. The team sucks. You feel what I'm saying? So maybe that played like a part in it. You know what I'm saying?
They know what bad football looks like. They know how to diagnose quickly what's bad. The problem with it, and this is what I love about them because this is how I am, is someone does good and you get irrationally overly excited. You're like, that guy is the savior.
Yeah.
Like Brian Hoyer, like he had like a big game. And I remember everyone's like, this is our guy, build around Hoyer. Yeah. And I was in on that too because it's like, hey, he did more than the last guy. So,
I do it all the time.
We'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So, that I can respect because it's just like being the crazy fan, But they definitely know what bad football looks like. So
that's what's up, man.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's definitely more respectable than the fans of a team who's like they say they're a diehard, but they just know their team's gonna win, and they just are able to talk like, yeah, my team's so good.
I'm always skeptical of those fans, and obviously, real fans exist for those teams.
Yeah,
clearly. But like, I'm just not gonna be convinced the first time you say, "Yo, I'm a fan. I'm a Chiefs fan." I'm like, okay. Yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a Chiefs fan? I bet you are. Like, so is my little cousin. He's a huge Chiefs fan.
He loves Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, exactly. He got a Pat Mahomes jersey, got a curly hair. Like you know what I'm saying? He went full Pat Mahomes. He's a Chiefs fan.
Is that the new hairstyle now? Is Pat Mahomes because it was Odell 4 years ago.
It was Odell, yeah. I'd say I don't know. I don't think Pat Mahomes is as cool as Odell, so probably not as much.
What was? I know the catch was amazing, right? Mm-hmm. But how did Odell go from like, okay, good wide receiver, good rookie wide receiver, to like the biggest star of football that like worldwide? You know what I mean?
Some people are just stars. The dude is a star. He's magnetic. He got the hair. He stands out. He's doing the dances. You know what I'm saying? A good dancer, good looking dude. You know what I'm saying? He flashy, dressed well. Like, he had everything in place. He's playing in New York. He went to LSU, and then he makes the catch. He explodes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kids love that. When you playing Fortnite every day, and then you go on Twitter, and you see this football player doing this Fortnite dance in the end zone, you're like, hey, I like this guy. Cool. You know what I'm saying? And then you see 2 highlights, and you're like, oh, he's clearly the best receiver to ever play the game. Yeah. Right? Like, so I'm going to buy the jersey right now. I'm going to switch the hair up because I want to look like that. And that's just how it go. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, Odell, the dude, just a star.
Dude, that's such an interesting thing to me, how people like kind of idolize players, because I idolized players growing up. Like, I'm not gonna act like I was Mr. Oh, I didn't look up. I looked up to players, but I didn't like try to make my life turn into like I didn't change like my hair. I didn't like carry myself a certain way. I didn't dress different.
Did you want to and you were scared to because you want to be judged?
I was never the kid who I saw someone doing something. I was like, I want to be exactly that. You know what I mean? Maybe it was a running style that I would copy. So like DeAnthony Thomas, how he ran on punt returns and just like when he got the ball, I loved it. So I tried to imitate that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when it came to like I didn't care about off the field stuff. I'm not a flashy guy as far as I don't care about how I dress. Like, I'm not like a fit kind of guy. Ooh, what kind of sneakers am I wearing? I don't care. So it's even if my favorite player who I like had a big game and he's like dressed fly after I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to sit here and say I never cared. I've always cared, but like I've always tried to be like different, and so I think it would come across as me not caring because when everybody was wearing one thing, I want to be cool. Like, I want this to look good. I spent time on this, but I try to make it different, and so it just looked like I wanted to look like I didn't spend time on it, but I did. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was kind of always my thing. But I'm still kind of like that because DeAndre Hopkins, bro, he got like this fire, like, and it's a tattoo that you can't even see, but he got a tattoo like on the side of his head because he got the. With his locks, he got the side of his head completely shaved. Yeah. And it's like, but you can only see it like when the hair like super low. I think that shit is so cool, bro.
That is
like
unique.
It's so dope. Like, I'm probably gonna get one at one point. Yeah. Like, I'm probably just gonna shave that and put one there. You will never even see it because I used to keep my hair kind of thick right here. But I just think it's fire, bro. Like, so I'm still like that, I guess, to an extent. You know what I'm saying? When I think about it.
I also grew up in a very conservative. We wore uniforms to school, and everyone had the clean, same cut hairstyle.
Yeah, and you didn't hate that shit and feel like
I hated it, but I didn't also
rebel against it.
The problem is, okay, so there's 2 types of people who rebel against that. There's the people who go like, I'm gonna dye my hair pink, and I'm gonna, get a nose ring and like 9 piercings in my ears and wear crazy clothes. And
I love those people.
So that's fine. Like, I respect those people too, because I don't have the balls to do that. But then the other type of person is like me, who's like, you know what? I don't care. So I'm just going to dress like a sleaze bag. Like, I'll wear sweats to school every day and a jacket that's just like my team. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be like the classic cut hairstyle, like perfectly dressed and like with my shirt tucked in and like tie. Like, that's the kind of stuff I don't like, but I don't rebel against things to where like I need to look crazy. The craziest thing I do is I wear bright colors, but it's not like I put a fit together. I wear bright colors. I'll put on like a bright hat and like a bright shirt, and my girlfriend will be like, "What are you wearing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I like how it looks." Yeah. I'm not trying to put together like a cool fit to like, I'm just doing this because it's like, hey, I like this color. Yeah. And that's the most it gets to. Because maybe it's like my sense of style is in the infancy stage, because I'm slowly evolving. So maybe this changes. Maybe 5 years from now, I've got like 10 piercings, tattoos, and I'm like got rings in my fingers. Probably not, but I could see things evolving, because I'm not going to rule out, like, I'm not Mr. No matter what, I'm never going to get a tattoo, and I'm never, because you got to understand, I come from a culture where it's like someone has a tattoo and all of a sudden people are like, look at him weird. Like, who is this guy? Like, why did he do that?
Yeah.
So there's also a fear in the back of my mind about that kind of stuff. So it's just weird. It's just like a different thing.
I have that to an extent. Like, okay, we grew up, my mom is a minister. Okay. So I live across the street from a church. We go to church Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. You feel me? And I'm always quiet. And so and my dad was a cop. You feel me? So I'm not, like, I don't really come from that to where people never would have imagined growing up that I would have locks, tattoos, and stuff like that. But I've always been interested in it. But I was kind of scared because, you know, growing up, it's like, like you say, it's a stigma against it.
Yeah.
And the way the stigma was like, the way we was kept away from it is like, oh, tattoos they could be dangerous, or the needle's not clean, and stuff like that. Or when you get locks, you can't get hired, and, you know, the police and all this stuff you got to deal with. And the older I get, it's like the less I care about that shit. And so I started to lean into, and so people might see me, because I plan to get way more tats. Like right now, all I got is, I got my hand tat, and I have like the full half sleeve right here. And I got an old tat that I had on my shoulder that I got way back in college. I'm going to fill this up. I'm going to get colored over here. I'm going to get this whole arm done and my hand. You feel me? And then once that's done, I'll move on. But I'm planning to I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do one here. I'm going chest. Like, I plan to do all of that. You feel me? It's just, and like, a part of me worry about it, because it's like, that stuff is irreversible. Yeah, and I know that I'll be judged, like, when people look at me. But at the same time, like, I just feel like I care. But like, I care more about just expressing myself and living how the fuck I want to live than I do about the people judging me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know who I am at the core anyway. Yeah. You feel me? So I don't worry about it that deep no more. But I don't know, man. I just think it's interesting that you brought that up, because I've been leaning more and more that way. And I've been going that way kind of slow. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? Me dip my toe in. You might think a hand tat is probably not dipping your toe in, but I feel like I'm dipping my toe in, because all the stuff I want to do, I've taken it real slow and sensible. Like, I think about it. I don't just make a rash decision like, oh, I'm just going to wake up and do this. Like, nah, I'll get the idea, be like, I want to do this. I'll kind of think on it for, it might be a month, 2 months. And then if it's still lingering, I still want to do it, let's do it. Like, what if, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Like, whatever negative it brings, you know, I'm just going to invite that in, and I'm going to try to turn it, like, into, you know, like a more of a good energy. You feel me? And so I think I could do that, man. I think it might even, like, open people up to kind of hear me out more. You feel me? Because it's interesting when you see somebody who completely tatted up. You're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does that person do? Like, does he rap? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? And so then you have a conversation with me, and you realize I'm just a normal dude, like super normal, to do super normal shit every day. And it might just help kind of like break down some barriers and help people not judge people as much. You know
I think that's definitely true. And I respect that. I do respect that. It's just tough because, you know, I grew up in a culture where a lot of the old people, they would see someone like that who's all tatted up, got piercings or whatever, and they're instantly already in a defensive, judgmental place. Yeah. And the problem is I'm still trying to kick old habits to where, like, I see someone like that. It's not that I think they're a bad person. It's just there's like an instant thing that happens where you feel weird. And then it's not this normal. They're normal people. It's like, I even feel weird saying it now because it's like, I hate to be judgmental, but based on where I came from, and not that my family raised me to be judgmental, it's just the people that you're around, the school I went to, like the church I went to, it's like the people are a certain way to where if you are different, then you are mightily judged by the group. And that fear. And I get, like, my dad always says, like, you don't care over time. And I get that. Like, I care a lot less than I used to. Mm-hmm. It's just,
you're still in your 20s. You got a lot of not giving a fuck left to, like, you know what I'm saying? You got a long way to go. I got a long way to go, but I'm further along than you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm older. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely a journey, and I get that. So it's like I can't be rushing time, because time it'll change. And that's also weird because I haven't thought a lot about, like, I guess one of my inspirations, but doesn't mean I'd get tattoos, is Birdman, the basketball player.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I meant to say Chris Anderson. Sorry.
I immediately thought about Birdman and Wayne. I was like, yeah, you're right. Because Wayne was the first, like, black dude I saw with tattoos everywhere. But yeah, Birdman. What's
Chris Anderson.
Birdman's name? Chris Anderson.
Perfect. Yeah. The perfect, like, white normal guy name, right? Chris Anderson. You look at a photo of him when he first got in the league, no tattoos. Mm-hmm. So it's like the perfect clean cut to badass tattoo guy.
Yep.
And it's just cool. Like, he was always like, I only watched the Heat when he was on that, because I love to see him play. Like, of course LeBron's great, of course Dwayne Wade's great, and Chris Bosh, but seeing him on the court was just so sick. Like, I just love seeing that guy.
That might be the hottest take I've ever heard in my life. I enjoy watching Birdman too, but to say that you turned your TV on, like, Bron Wade, Chris Anderson. That's why I wanted to see him get 4 rebounds and a block, and that is why I turned
one
the game
put
on.
back layup. Ooh, that was perfect.
Hey, I used to love the energy Birdman brought. Like, I'm not
shitting
on Birdman at all. Like, I'm a huge Birdman fan because he played with Denver before that, right?
Yeah, I love them too. I watched them play.
His tats was fire, bro.
Yeah,
like,
it looked so good in the white and blue.
It did, bro. His shit was cold, bro. Damn, Birdman, bro.
That is my inspiration right there.
A long time, bro. Yeah,
that was my favorite NBA player before I started watching more serious. Like, if you look at the Nuggets days and then the early Miami days, I wasn't a huge NBA fan. So seeing someone like that would be the reason why I'd be, like, into the game, because I'm just like, hey, this guy's not that athletic.
Yeah,
he's not that special of a player. And I just respected those guys, because the athletic guy who can do the crazy thing, that's phenomenal. It's a sight to see. But seeing the guy who's out there grinding, diving over loose balls, the Dellavedovas, those are my guys.
I feel like people don't understand that is a talent. I don't think people get that, because it's like, bro, the high energy guy is not, like, you can't choose. I don't think you can choose to be a high energy guy. I think you're a high energy guy or you not. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I just don't feel like you could just wake up one day and be like, you know what? I'm going to be Birdman. Like, you was born Birdman, bro. Like, you didn't, like, there's nothing you did to, like, earn that. Like, that's a skill. You was born with that. Like, LeBron was born, he was always going to be 6'9" and indestructible. Like, always. Like, it was always going to become that. And so, I've always felt like that was a skill. And, like, especially with, like, the smaller, unathletic dudes, like, when they learn how to play the game, that's how they learn how to play the game. So, it's always something to definitely be respected. But I think the everyman, like, label they get, I feel like it's kind of overstated.
It is. Really it's a disrespectful way to talk about a player who's less talented from a, the game, the amazing flying, high flying,
from maybe scoring or like the flashy stuff.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. But it's still a talent. Like, you know what I'm saying.
My favorite NBA player ever is probably Dennis Rodman. I love watching old highlights of him. Like, I can watch highlights of dudes putting up 40, 50 points and stuff, but you let me watch a James Harden 60-point game, or you let me watch a Dennis Rodman 20 rebound game, I will pick that rebound game every time.
See, I just wish people could appreciate I like them both.
I'm not okay. I'm just saying, if I could choose. I'm not saying that it's bad.
Right. I feel you. And the way Harden does it, you can argue that it's bad. You could argue. I'm not saying it's bad, but I can understand the argument. But and also, I was gonna say Birdman. So Birdman is like an offspring of Dennis Rodman, right? I don't know if he's ever said that or if he feel like that, but bruh, you know what I'm saying? You got the tats, you high energy, you play defense, you rebound, you don't really score much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You look like you party really hard, but still play even harder somehow. Like everybody can't do that, bro. Like everybody can't go to Vegas like Dennis Rodman and get drunk for 4 days and then come back and beat everybody around the court. Like that's a blessing. He just got that, bro. Like that's a talent. Like everybody can't do that. Some people got to sleep in a hyperbaric chamber every night just so their knees don't feel like they're gonna fall off when they get on the court. So what I'm saying.
I identify with that kind of personality and play style more than anything else I've ever done in my life. When it comes to like, I was talented because I was fast. So I had success in football and I had good other traits. I'm not saying that's the only thing I had. I had good vision and other things. But when it came to basketball, I loved to play basketball probably more than football or run track. But the thing was, I was never the best scorer. I was never the best shooter. I was never the best ball handler. In fact, I was usually the worst on the teams in those categories. But I could lead teams in points scored purely on hustle, fast breaks, and defensive plays. Like that was what I did. Yeah. And I prided myself on that. And even I've probably told this story already, but on my AAU team I made in like 7th grade, I was the 10th man out of 10 to make it. And the coach told my friend that he picked me because he's like, you see how that kid hustles? He's just fast. He just flies around. And if he can do that every day, it's like one that's good in practice to get you ready for games. It's like the Rudy thing. Yeah. And in the game, like when I need a guy who's going to lock down and like play hard and I can count on him for the 50-50 stuff, that's the guy. And that's just as important as scoring. And I wish kids who watch the game now, I just hope that they understand that stuff matters so much.
I fell victim to this because I've been, since the pandemic hit, I hoop all the time, right?
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of one-on-one, a lot of 21, a lot of king of the court style of play. And I played, we can't play 5-on-5 at the gym yet, but we can play 4-on-4, whatever. It's weird, but whatever. I played 4-on-4 and I realized that, like, you know what? I am trash. Like, I felt like I was bad at actual basketball offensively because a lot of times I was off the ball. I really didn't, like, I felt uncomfortable. Like, I was like, should I cut here? Because it looked like he finna beat his man and drive. I don't want to clog up the paint. I was confused. I was like, damn, I don't even know how to move it at the ball no more. And I went and watched like a bunch of Zion highlights and some old Ray Allen and Rip Hamilton and all of these Reggie Miller that move without the ball. I was like, I've been watching so much Kyrie Irving style, James Harden style basketball, and that's basketball for sure. But moving without the ball and like playing off ball and hustling and sealing your man and doing all of that stuff, that's hooping also. You know what I'm saying? It's just as important, if not more important, for more people because everybody is 4 people that don't have the ball in 5v5, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At a time. So you got to know how to play when you don't have the ball in your hands. So it's an extremely important skill. And I think a lot of times that's what cats like don't understand. And that's why a lot of times when you throw these super teams together, people just assume, like people feel like that Heat team that first year should have won a championship. And I was like, that team sucked. Like I watched every game because I'm a LeBron fan, right? I was like, yo, this team is trash. I'm like, Bron and Wade can't play together. Bron keep dribbling the damn ball till there's 3 seconds left on the shot clock and then throw up some bullshit. I'm like, bro, we might win some regular season games like that. We're not winning a championship like this. And I was shocked they made it to the finals that year because nobody was really used to playing those off the ball roles. Like all of them dudes, all 3 of them, him, Wade, and Bosh was all stars, used to having the ball in their hand. And they had to figure that out. And that's not an easy thing to do because it's a completely different skill to be able to play off the ball and still be effective.
It's true. Feel me? Dude, we need to play some pickup games because of the way I grew up. We played only pass, pick, cut if it's open, backdoor cuts, off-ball movement. That's all I know. So that's my biggest offensive skill set. Yeah. So we need to play so then you can handle the ball and I can be Mr. Cut Machine because that's where I make my money. You know what I mean? So
all right,
I think
let me explain
perfect
something
combo.
to you. Let me explain something to you real quick. All right.
All right.
Now, you ever watch Kobe play? Like especially like later in his career?
Yeah.
That's I'm not trying to compare myself to Kobe. I promise to God I'm not. What I'm saying is I'm not like bringing the ball up the court. I need the ball in my spots, right? Same. So I want somebody else to bring it up. I'm going to high post kind of elbow range or maybe right behind the 3-point line. That's where I like the ball. I like to get the ball there where I still have my dribble. That's if I can do that, if I get the ball in that situation a few times a game, I'm gonna score. Like that's how I get my buckets most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So if we do play, I'm just letting you know that that's generally how I play. Now, recently I've been trying to do more backdoor cutting and just I'll go to the gym and I don't tell nobody, but in my head I'm like, all I'm doing today is playing defense and playing off ball. Like that's what I did like the last 3 times I went. And dude actually got mad at me. He was like, bro, you're not being aggressive enough on offense. And I was like, bruh, you got to score. Because I'm just here to play defense and get rebounds because I'm trying to like retrain my brain, bro. Because I'm not good enough to be the dude that's dominating the ball all the time. Like when I go and play with better people, like I'm not, I've been playing with like lesser skilled people or people that's small. Like now I'm playing with like people that's more on my level or better than me. And so I'm obviously not going to have the ball all the time. Yeah. So I started working on those other things, bro. And it's fun. It's been rewarding just doing that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's been an experience. You know what I'm saying? Because I realized, like, okay, I'm not as good at this as I thought. I got to get better at this. But I like that. I like identifying my weaknesses and then trying to get better at them. That's the whole reason I do it. It's fun.
Dude, I think if you put me on a court with athletic dudes and I'm in shape, I can hang with most players. And that's not saying I'm scoring. Yeah. But if you get me in a 4v4 or 5v5 scenario, I can play defense. I can set picks. I can get the correct spacing. I have enough IQ that no matter what, even if I can't shoot or can't dribble, like I can find a way to make a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I take pride in that. Like I take pride in being able to like not be the idiot on the court who's, you're on the high post and I'm standing next to you. And so you're double teamed. Like you can trust me out there.
Yeah.
Dude, I got to come over there. Cause you say you play pickup all the time and I'm jealous. Mm-hmm. I'm jealous.
Oh yeah. See,
it's not like that.
At Lifetime, bro, like, you got to sign up for the little thing. You reserve a court. 10 people can be in there at a time and you get an hour. That's how they do it now, since the pandemic and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I go in there and it's a lot of times it's the same dudes. You know what I'm saying? Old boy at the front desk. Shout out to my dog T. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to put me on. He told me about it like before they added it to the app and stuff. So I was able to kind of get in there early. But yeah, man, it's fun, bro. It's fun and it keep you moving, get your heart rate up. I'm not in there trying to be Jordan. I'm just trying to stay in shape and have some fun. You feel me?
I like that. I respect that. But anyway, I think I got like 7 minutes or less on my camera.
Yeah, so, about that time.
I say we quickly talk about, I want to talk about the Browns, just briefly. I thought yesterday was dope because it was just they just played like a playoff team. They handled their business. The Giants did some dumb stuff. They did that red zone on 4th down, try to throw it, but it's like they held strong in the red zone. They didn't give up points. The offense just death by 1,000 cuts. Baker was on it. He was just on like everything. He was just perfect.
And the Giants defense is no joke.
No, it's no joke. Their defensive line, they injured the right guard was out for the Browns. Best guard in football on PFF. He gets hurt and he's not playing in this game. Second play of the game, the backup gets hurt. So the third string's in and it's against their best defensive Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah.
And the Browns offensive line incredible because Bill Callahan is the offensive line coach, and they just hold strong. They're just a unit. And Baker was just dicing that defense up. It was just so nice to watch because it was like my girlfriend was like, how come you get so pissed when they lose, but when they win, you're not even getting that hyped? I'm like, I'm just watching Baker go to surgery, and it's just like I don't need to cheer after every 15-yard completion because it's every play. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, they're just kicking their ass, and that's how it should be for a playoff team,
Yeah.
So that was just beautiful. It was just nice. It just felt good.
Let me ask you this, man. I'm not saying y'all have it. I just for information purpose. Because what I was watching that game, I had it on. I wasn't watching it super hard because I felt like y'all took control of that game. And when y'all get control of a game this year, it's over. I was like, this shit is over. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you might think it's a little closer than what I'm like, bro. Them dudes gonna control the game. They're not gonna be stopped at this point. Yeah. How many teams have y'all beat that y'all wasn't supposed to beat? Because I think what y'all have done, what I could say unequivocally, and this is no small thing, I might have said this before on one of these. I'm not sure. But now y'all always beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and you handle them. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
if
been
you're
the story of
supposed
the
to
season.
win, you handle that. Like, and that's the mark of either a good team or a team that's becoming like a really good team. Like, once you can do that, and there's no, like, you don't have these huge letdowns. So I think that's consistent. That's there. How many teams have y'all beat that y'all weren't supposed to beat?
Colts, Titans.
The
That's
Titans?
probably the big
Are we
two.
counting the Titans?
They're 10-4. They're leading their division.
Okay.
They're running.
I feel like the
Derrick
Titans
Henry
pretty
is
overrated.
closing in on 2,000. I mean, he could, and the Browns shut him down. I mean,
That defense is just
like-
so. It might be better now. It was terrible.
I agree.
earlier
It's
in the
not
year.
great, but they're 10-4. You know what I mean? Like they're 10-4, and I don't even know who they've lost to.
We beat them. That's why I don't have.
Oh, that was
as
their.
much respect.
But that was their one game. Like you said, you beat the teams on your opponent. They had that one bad game. They've lost to Pittsburgh barely. Cincinnati, obviously, they lost to Indianapolis, the other 10-4 team, and then they lost to the Browns, and they've
I don't
beaten
think,
everyone else.
Like, I think the Colts and the Titans are good teams.
They
but
crushed
I don't
Buffalo.
think they're elite. They crushed Buffalo.
Yeah,
Buffalo. I think Buffalo is bordering on elite.
I think the Browns can beat everyone
So
except
they'll beat
for
the Titans and the Colts. Is
yeah,
that
the
it?
Titans and the Colts, and let's look. That's another
Good
problem.
wins.
Browns,
Good wins, but I'm not like overly impressed by those.
they've just lost the games that they were supposed to. That's the problem. They had that crazy game against Dallas. Obviously, Dallas is bad. They beat Indianapolis. They just crushed everyone. And they had an easy schedule. Like that's.
I mean, well, yeah.
They had an easy schedule. So, you know, everyone was hype on New York before this game, but they kind of got screwed this week. So that's hard to say. That they weren't a good team. They're not a good offense.
And let me say, okay. I asked that question because I'm trying to project to the playoffs, right? And I'm wondering, what does that look like? Like, what do you think as a Browns fan?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of optimism, obviously. Do you
can
think
be
y'all going to
realistic.
be able to, like, actually beat a playoff team, like, when it counts? Like, do you think y'all are there yet or still?
The offense is guaranteeing us a shot in pretty much every game, I think, at this point.
Okay.
The defense is suspect at best, and it's injury prone. If Denzel Ward can stay healthy and we can keep our front four healthy, because Olivier Vernon's playing like a beast, and Myles Garrett just needs to get back because he said his lungs are killing him from COVID. But the defense is so suspect. They're going to be the reason the Browns lose, in my opinion, in the playoffs. But the offense itself, with how it's clicking, like Baker looks like the best I've ever seen him. So I think they're not going to get whoever they play. They're not going to get dogged unless the Chiefs run away from them. But everyone else, I think the Browns are in the game at the very least. The defense will hold them back, though. I think they won't get very far in the playoffs because of that. So,
Man, I think y'all just in a great place.
It
Because,
is.
like, y'all don't need, and you're a real fan, so you can correct me, y'all don't need anything offensively. So you can really address that defense. And you know what I'm saying? Like, in the offseason. And next year will be even stronger. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah, that's exactly my thought process as well. And it's going to be interesting because Delpit comes back. We don't know though. My camera just gave out. Whatever.
Damn it.
My Greedy Williams, we don't know still. And those are guys we already have on the team. Mm-hmm. The linebackers are a joke. The safeties this year are a joke.
Is Mac Wilson trash?
Mac Wilson just can't make a tackle in open field to save his life. He's decent in coverage, and he's just so inconsistent in the run game that it's like you watch the Browns, and it's like they get it's like that classic the gap opens up and it's a one-on-one tackle, and it's either a 2-yard gain or it's a 7-yard gain, and it's a 7-yard gain more often than not because he misses the tackle or he gets dragged back. He's just inconsistent. And that's the kind of the name of the game for the linebackers too, and just the defense in general.
Yeah.
But the D line definitely can overwhelm guys. But if they're playing a good team, good offense, Buffalo, the Ravens, Chiefs, it's just scary. They're going to score almost every drive.
Gotcha.
That's just how it is.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, Bengals suck, so I don't really need to talk about that.
They better if they can win tonight, that's huge. That'd be sick.
We're not winning tonight, bro.
Hey, it's the NFL. Anyone can beat anyone. I don't care. It's a rivalry game. I believe.
Bro, No, no, bro, no. I'm sorry.
I
No.
keep saying no because the more you say no, the more like the football gods will be like, all right.
No, first and foremost, we can't beat the Steelers. We couldn't beat the Steelers when we was good, right? Then we can't beat prime time. So we got the Steelers, we got prime time. And then on top of that, we actually suck right now. Like, it's not even like sometimes we're okay or we're pretty good and we go into these situations, we still lose. We suck right now. And yeah, it's not happening, bro. I've seen people say, I'm like, bro, stop saying that. Like, just cut it out, bro. It's gonna be an ugly game, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I feel kind of bad for my dudes because I really don't see no type of way we can win this. Big Ben gonna be taking shots at the beginning of the game. Mark my words. He's gonna be picking on them corners, and the receivers that have been dropping every pass, they're gonna catch every single thing thrown their way. Chase Claypool's gonna have 200 yards. I'm telling you, bro. Like I've seen this movie before.
Hey, all I'm saying is they might win 99 times out of 100, but it could be that one.
Yeah,
Could be that one. I believe.
I'm good with that. We got a 1% chance.
It's more than that. It's probably like a 10% chance.
Okay. Whatever you
I
say.
am not saying they're going to win. I'm saying I'm holding
We're
out
starting
hope.
Ryan Finley, bro.
I've
Hey,
seen
bro.
crazier. I've seen crazier.
No, you haven't, bro. No, you haven't. You
I
haven't
have.
seen crazier.
I mean, I
What?
can't think of an example, but upsets happen. You know what I mean? App State beats Michigan. You know what I mean?
I mean, the Jets did win yesterday.
The Jets did beat the
They
Rams.
beat the Rams. So yeah.
That's probably a bigger upset, honestly.
No, it's not.
The
No,
Jets
it's
hadn't
not,
won a
'cause-
game.
Yeah, but it's not like a rivalry on Monday Night Football. Like with a team
Yeah, but
with
that
the starting
should mean-
quarterback and a second string and third string quarterback out. With the worst offensive line in the game against a team that's lost, what, 2 games all year? 1 game?
Back
2?
to back.
They're going to get back on track this week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm a Bengals fan tonight.
We'll get the Steelers, bro. If you're a Bengals fan, then you just know what's coming. Like, don't be like the fake optimistic. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was there, and our coaches sold me on a bunch of crap about them developing the offensive lineman we had, and I bought it because I'm a fan and I want to believe. Obviously, I really do. But at this point, like, I'm also not stupid. Like, you can't fool me again. We're gonna get beat really bad. Anyway, man. Thank y'all for coming through. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, bro. This is actually a fun one. We'll catch y'all next time, man. KTL camera went out a long time ago, but I'm going to say peace, and then he's going to say
Peace.
boom.